Hey all, good morning.
Hi Ashish, good morning.
Very good morning. Mm, Join through the laptop also. Okay. Mm, Okay.
Dinesh, one question. You have taken the assessments, is it?
Still haven't taken any assessments. Actually, I'm supposed to take it.
Oh, okay, because there are so many assessments, like even I have not taken. Only I think two I've taken so far.
Okay. So me also not taken. And also, Ashish, I just want to say to everybody, I hope everyone was checked their email. Today we have one web webinar about project. Actually, let me check. What is that project name is? I'm sorry. From GUI side, we have received an email. Hope everyone was received the same.
Yes,
GUI
it's
project seminar GPS 4.0.
yes, it's for all. I think so.
Yeah,
8th and 9th.
yeah. From tomorrow on tomorrow and day after tomorrow, I think.
Hmm. So is
Yeah,
it
it's
like
about. Yeah,
the
let me 1 minute. Let me share my screen to you so that you can also see the email, right? Yeah, this is the email.
UV project seminar?
Yeah.
Okay. Getting a
Hands-on experience they were giving, and
data
it's
science
about. Yeah.
like-minded agent. During the seminar, you will have chance to understand hands-on data analysis concept. You will assign Great. So you're waiting for common join. Okay, no details. The drive session
Yeah,
details.
here. This the
The second one, can you GPS
yeah
data science and analytics?
live
Group.
project on data science and
Great,
analytics.
great, nice guys, nice. So what is the second file? Can you show?
Yeah, that is the they said. Yeah, the recording links. Yeah, we all
Oh,
have that
okay.
recording stuffs, right? Yeah.
Great guys, great. Nice, nice. You join this one and let me know what is the project.
Sure.
So I'm not sure whether this is the same project that we are discussing previously or this is different.
Okay.
You guys join and let me know what is it is.
Okay. Yeah.
Hmm.
Here they were also given the same thing. Seminar link.
Join guys. So this is actually a good thing, learning while doing the project.
So Ashish, is this like a pre-preparation session for the projects? Like what?
So I am actually seeing this for the first time. I didn't know whether before every project you have to attend a seminar or this is happening for the first time. Not sure about that.
That you should tell us, Ashish. We are first timers now.
So I am actually not handling this. This is a technical team.
Yeah, actually, like when I've connected with the coordinator, they said like we used to conduct some seminars and some hackathon like that. We all have that, right? Hackathon, and we do have some days like that. So it's also one of the day. We have some peoples from working professionals from companies or else from the IIT professors. They will come and help you guys to give an idea about how the industry was working and how the things were going. Like that they say in this webinar, it seems. Yeah.
Good. I'm not sure. I'm hearing for the first time from you. So which I can't answer. That the coordinators and the technical team can help you out. Don't worry. We'll eventually get the answer. So better you join this and let's see.
Sure.
Is this a new thing or this is happening for the other batches? So I think Silpa is here today. Silpa is bit, a few weeks experienced than you people. So here we are. Silpa is there, right? I can see Silpa's name.
Yeah.
No, Ashish,
But I
after 8th and 9th, after these two sessions, our project will be allotted, correct?
8th and 9th session. Yeah, it should be allotted. So, okay, guys, let's start our journey because this is a statistical last session. This should be the last session. We'll finish it. We were talking about what is this? I'm getting something
Yeah,
here.
we were
Okay.
talking about types of estimators, like we were standing at MLE now.
So MLE, we understood MLE and the mathematical things, right? Yesterday, this part.
Yeah.
So I think after MLE, yeah, great, guys. So hypothesis testing. Okay, this is the last part of this one. Let me show you the schedule. This one, right? Hypothesis. So all about this, all the session is about hypothesis testing only. We'll see because this is a very quick chance or easy chance for get you confused. So this is for your kind of a brain twister for you guys. Okay, those who are hearing this for the first time, it is going to a bit twister. So let's see what is hypothesis testing. First of all, statistical method used to make inferences about the population based on a sample. Okay, it involves stating a null hypothesis. So when I say hypothesis testing, there is two statement you need to initiate first. One is called a null hypothesis. Null hypothesis means a default assumption that there is no effect or relationship between variables. We'll see with okay, lots of examples we have to understand this. Okay, don't worry. And an alternative hypothesis, which means the opposite of null hypothesis. And then using sample data to determine the likelihood of the null hypothesis being true. Okay, be with me, guys. Okay, if you lose some time in between, you'll get confused. Okay, using the sample data to determine the likelihood of null hypothesis is being true. So that means if you are doing an experiment, you define two statements. One is null hypothesis, one is alternative hypothesis. Okay, null hypothesis means what? Usually null hypothesis means that your experiment contradictory to the experimentation result. That means kind of a negative statement. It means you are doing some experiment. The null hypothesis will be the experiment will not be successful. Okay, generic term I am saying, null hypothesis. Generally, when you are doing some experimentation in your null hypothesis, you will mention what? The experimentation is not going to be successful. And what about alternative hypothesis? Opposite to null hypothesis. If you say null hypothesis, in null hypothesis you say experimentation is not going to be successful, then in the alternative hypothesis, what should be your statement? That your experimentation is going to be successful. Okay, and at the end, what you do using the sample data, you determine the likelihood of the null hypothesis being true. That means you need to calculate what is the probability score that whatever statement, the first statement, that is the null hypothesis, that is true. What is the probability score for that statement? And for that statement, this I told you yesterday, right? I'll tell about the p-value. P-value is not that the probabilistic value of null hypothesis being true. And this is called actually, you have to define this p-value. I told you, right? This p-value need to be defined from the domain expert. So usually we put the threshold as 0.05. Now, if you find this, your p-value is less than 0.05, that means less than your threshold, you are going to reject the null hypothesis. That means what? Null hypothesis is not true. That means which statement is true? The alternative hypothesis. And if p-value is below certain threshold, the null hypothesis is rejected and the alternative hypothesis is accepted. Okay, let's with
Ashish,
example.
I need to interrupt you here for a second. Actually, like we are going in circle, like hypothesis is like one conclusion what we have made. Okay. So you're saying like the alternate hypothesis, if it is usually below the threshold of 0.05, then again we will go back to the original hypothesis and we are going to reject this, correct?
No. So with example, it will be clear, more clear to you. Okay. With example, it will be more. So for example, as you said, it is not going to in a circle. We'll see this. See, a medical researcher is testing a new drug to lower the cholesterol level. That is your experimentation. It is, what is your expectation here in your experimentation? What is the expectation here?
The
Reduce the
cholesterol levels should be lower.
Lower, right? That is your expectation. Here, what should be the null hypothesis? The null hypothesis is that the drug has no effect on lowering the cholesterol level. This is your null hypothesis. Always contradict your a kind of a negative contradictory statement. Null hypothesis every time.
Okay.
So if I'm doing a drug, just 1 second, guys. If I have, drug has no effect on the cholesterol level, because your experimentation is to do what? Lower the cholesterol level. Now here, what is the alternative hypothesis? Opposite to null hypothesis. What is opposite to null hypothesis? Drug has no effect. It has effect, right? Drug does lower the cholesterol level. This is your alternative hypothesis. Now it is clear, right? It's not a circle, right? Two statement. Null means this experimentation is not going to work. Alternative means this experimentation is going to work. Okay. Now the researcher randomly assign patients to either a group that receives the drug or a group that receives a placebo. Do you guys know what is a placebo? So placebo kind of a dummy medicine, which has it is not actually a medicine, but the patients will understand that they have been provided with some medicine. Okay, so they will create two groups, and one group will receive the actual drug, one group will receive the placebo, that is the dummy drug. And based on the analysis, they will calculate what? The p-value that the drug is going to lower the cholesterol level. And we'll see with example. And if the p-value is less than the threshold, so usually threshold is 0.05. If p-value is less than 0.05, then you are going to reject which statement? This statement. Less than. If p-value is less than 0.05, then you are going to reject this statement. That means what statement you are supporting? That the drug has some effect. It is lowering the cholesterol level.
So if the p-value goes down, then only we can know that.
Reject the null hypothesis. If it
Okay,
is
okay.
greater than that value, greater than equal to, that means you are going to
Then it is a null
accept.
hypothesis. Okay.
You are going to accept the null hypothesis, right? Correct.
Okay, at
So,
the end of hypothesis testing, we'll get the p-value, right?
Right.
Okay.
So the researcher can use statistical methods to calculate the probability of observing the difference in cholesterol level between the two groups. Here you divided them into two groups, and you then calculate the probability of observing the difference in cholesterol level if the null hypothesis was true. Okay, so what the probability you are calculating, that is actually called what? The p-value. What is the probability? And this probability, for this probability, we have set some threshold called 0.05. Okay, let's see more example. A marketing research company wants to know if a new advertising campaign will increase the sales for a product. What is the null hypothesis here? The null hypothesis again, that
The product will
advertising
not increase.
not increase the sales. Now, what is the alternative hypothesis here? The product is going to increase the sales. Easy.
Yep.
So first we'll try to understand how to define the null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis for each example. Okay. The company, so to know this, what is the steps to be followed by the company? The company randomly splits the population of customers into two groups. A control group that does not see the new advertising campaign. Here, this is like same, the placebo group, right? A group which will not see the campaign, and a treatment group that does see the new advertising campaign. Okay, again, company will use what? Statistical methods to calculate the probability of observing the difference in sales between the two groups. And if here the probability is less than the threshold, then you are going to reject the null hypothesis, that is the new will not increase the sales. This is not true. That means it will increase the sales. Now here, if you think a bit more here, while taking these decisions, there may be chance of human error. What is the human error?
They may incorrectly calculate.
Yes, they may incorrectly calculate one thing. And another thing, if you'll consider here, the threshold that is also being set by the human here.
Mhm.
Maybe the
Ashish,
threshold,
the threshold will be set by whom?
human like us.
That's correct. Say, for example, if I'm in a project, will the project manager give me the threshold should be this much or like?
Correct. The domain expert should give you this threshold. The domain expert. But usually we take it as 5%. We are taking 0.05. But
Like
here
default.
Default, correct. Usually, but that depends. If you are in banking sector, I think this threshold will be differ. If you are in other sectors, this threshold will depends on your domain.
Okay.
And while setting this threshold, I told you, right, this is also set by a human here. So human error can lead to some problem here. Okay, while the setting the threshold also, if we'll set the threshold bit lower, then also there is a chance of some error. If you set the threshold bit higher, then also you'll have some chance to make some error. Now we're trying to discuss about this error types.
So it's skewed data.
Correct. Now, based on the human, this threshold and any mistakes, two types of error you can do. Okay, here I need your attention here, because here you need to understand something. Let me be ready
Ashish,
with.
before we dive into that, I have a question. Like, we were dividing the groups into two, right? One can able to see the advertisement and another one cannot be able to see the advertisement. We'll run the null hypothesis and then the alternative hypothesis at the same like two groups at the same time, and we'll compare the result. Then only we'll come to an addition, or like for one group we'll run the null hypothesis and for the another one we'll run the alternate hypothesis.
No. So what we did, what the placebo example, what we did, we didn't run any like at the same time or different time. We just created two groups who will
Okay.
receive the medicine, and another group which is not receiving the medicine.
Okay.
Now, using the statistical principles, you have to calculate the probability of null hypothesis being true
For the two groups.
for the two groups.
Okay.
But the first group, the second group is not getting the medicine at all. So
Yeah.
are you getting it? So what you need to calculate the probability.
So I don't need to. Okay, so I don't need to calculate for the team which were like who were not receiving the medicine. I can only calculate it for
But
the.
if you don't calculate their cholesterol level, then how you are going
Then
to
yeah,
compare?
we cannot able to compare it. Yeah.
Yeah,
True.
right. So you need two groups that.
Okay.
And that means you are calculating the probability of null hypothesis being true. That means what is the probability that the drug has no effect? That's what you are calculating.
Okay.
That's your question there. What is the probability that this medicine is not going to work? That you need to calculate using statistical methods.
Okay, so like
Yeah.
I'm sorry to cut you off. Like, I can understand like how these things were working, but my question is like at this, we have two groups, right? For the two
Hmm.
groups, for team A, I'll calculate null hypothesis once, and for team B, I'll calculate the null hypothesis once, or at the same time, I can calculate for team A and team B.
Now see how to calculate the probability of not having the impact for the medicine. How to calculate that? How you calculate the probability of rolling a dice equal to 1?
We'll do that.
Using statistical methods. You have to
Yeah, yeah,
calculate the probability using statistical methods there.
yeah.
Okay. And then you need to see what is the p value, what is the probability score there. If it is coming as
Mhm.
less than the threshold, then you are going to reject. Okay, we'll see. Okay, don't worry, this is started. This is just
Okay,
started. Okay.
okay.
So any questions that you are all not getting clarification, you write it down somewhere in the paper. Okay, so that when you are going to revise this, you can do some external research on that. Okay, so here you are going to, okay, we are at a type 1 and type 2 error. What is type 1 and type 2 error? So this is called in your data science, this is called confusion matrix. Okay, because the name itself suggesting that you are going to confuse. Okay, but this is very interesting, not that much hard, very interesting. So see, we are doing two things, right? We are just rejecting the null hypothesis and accepting the null hypothesis, isn't it? When we reject the null hypothesis, what happens? And when you are accepting the null hypothesis, what happens? When I say
hypothesis is rejected.
I can't hear the sound, who is speaking. Okay, that is very slow.
When we
for me.
reject the null hypothesis, the experiment is success.
The experiment is success. But there is a chance of error also here that you need to consider. Okay, see in this direction I have mentioned null hypothesis is, okay, here if you see true and false. True and false. When null hypothesis is true, what does that mean? When I say null hypothesis is true, what does that mean?
It's a failure of what we are
Failure
trying.
of,
Yeah.
exactly. That means null hypothesis, I'm writing H0 is kind of a negative statement. Just to make you understand, guys. Okay. Alternative hypothesis is kind of what? Positive statement.
Yeah.
Right. So when I say null hypothesis true, that means what I'm saying? Negative assumption is true about the experimentation. Do you guys agree with me? When I say null hypothesis is true, that means negative statement is preferable. When I say null hypothesis is false, that means what? Positive statement is preferable.
So Ashish is saying, like, if you're saying that null hypothesis is true, when I will get to know, when I get the results from the market, then only I will get to know, right?
Right, right. So after you calculating the probability of null hypothesis is true, after then only we'll get to.
For example, if we can use the same example, that cholesterol thing, when that drug goes into the market and there is nothing working on the patient, so they will come back to the doctor. The doctor will come back to the manufacturer. Then only we'll get to know that what our hypothesis has been done has failed.
No. There the doctor itself and his people itself doing the experimentation by keeping two groups in separate two rooms. Okay, they are giving the medicine and writing down the cholesterol level in a paper. Are you getting, like, in one room people are getting the medicine and after few weeks they are writing down their cholesterol level. In one room other group of people there who receives nothing, just a placebo, and they are writing down their cholesterol level in a paper.
So here we have two groups of samples, right?
Correct. And I think from that data you will be able to calculate the probability. What is the probability that the patients, the medicine is not working with the patients?
0.5.
0.5 is the probability that the medicine is not going to work, right?
0.05, Ashish, it's not like 0.5 means like it's almost 50%.
So when you say 0.5 is the probability, that means you are saying 50% chance is there the medicine is going to work and 50% chance the medicine is not going to work. Threshold,
Yeah.
I'm saying. So this is what you need to calculate, guys. This is not flipping a coin that you will say head will come 50%, tail will come 50%. Okay, so that probability you need to calculate from the data you writing down in the paper of the cholesterol level. How many patients you have? Okay, what is their previous cholesterol level? What is they are getting right now? Whether there is any difference or not. So those statistical approach you need to follow to calculate the probability. But while doing this, there is a chance because you are, so when you are rejecting a null hypothesis, when that p value is less than 0.05, here you are rejecting the null hypothesis. Now, if this threshold is set by us, right, domain expert, and you did some mistake to set this threshold. Now, this threshold should be actually 0.07, but you set it 0.05. So by doing this mistake, there is a chance of doing what? Rejecting or accepting. If initially it is 0.05, I made it to 0.07. What is the chance of null hypothesis? Being rejected is a higher chance or being accepted is a higher chance? Null hypothesis.
Being rejected.
Think about it. Threshold is, so when I reject null hypothesis, when it is less than my threshold, if I increase my threshold, so here I increase my threshold, right? 0.07. If I increase my threshold, the chances of rejecting this increased or decreased?
Okay.
Decreased.
Right?
How?
So chances, yeah, Kiran, what is your thinking in it? So chances of,
No, see here you have raised the threshold from 0.05 to 0.07.
0.07, yeah.
Yeah. So like what if I arrived at 0.05? I didn't know that you have changed the threshold. So like my thing should be accepted and rejected.
That is not the question. My question is, it was 0.05. I set it now to 0.07. That is fixed. No compromise on that part. Now you increase the threshold. I said from 0.05, the domain expert suggested go with 0.07. Now here, chances of rejection increased or decreased? That is my question. Nothing else.
They are increased, I think.
Right?
Yeah, rejection will be increased.
Chances of rejection increased. So when I say I increase the threshold, when I reject, when it is less than the threshold, when I reject null hypothesis, when the p value will be less than the threshold. Now by increasing the p value, rejection I am increasing, the chances of rejection increasing or decreasing? Increasing or decreasing? Decreasing, guys.
Decreasing.
Isn't it? Decreasing, isn't it?
Yeah.
If it is less than 0.05, then we reject it. Then we increase the threshold a bit. The chances is increasing or decreasing. This is the catch here. And this is where we make the errors, type 1 error, type 2 error. Okay, guys, let's try to understand from here. Null hypothesis is rejected and null hypothesis is actually true. Null hypothesis is true means what? Negative statement is preferred. And by a mistake, I rejected it. That means what I did? Threshold alpha value, I rejected, guys. That means what? I increased it. 0.07 I make. by mistake I did this, but the null hypothesis is actually true. That means the drug has actually no effect. The null hypothesis is true. But due to my this alpha setup, I rejected this. There, this is a chance of what? Type 1 error. So when I rejected the null hypothesis, that means what? I am favoring the positive statement. When I reject the null hypothesis, I am favoring the positive statement. And this is actually a mistake because of the threshold I set here. And because of this mistake, I am favoring the positive statement. That's why it is called false positive. False positive. These terms you are going to hear a lot. This is a matrix in data science. Recall, precision are the matrix which is based on false positive and false negative. Did you understand when we say false positive? When we rejected the null hypothesis, when it is true, that means negative part is true. The medicine has no effect, but we rejected it. That means what we told, the medicine has some effect, but actually this is an error, and this is called false positive error. This is called type 1 or false positive. So try to understand here. Type 1 means what? False positive error. Come to this scenario. What does this mean? Null hypothesis is false. This is the actual value. Okay, this true and false is the actual value. This is the decision taken by us, rejected or not rejected. So this decision may be human made error or maybe due to this threshold that we are setting. What is the second case here? Null hypothesis is false. That means what? Positive statement is true. Null hypothesis is false. That means what? This negative statement is not correct. That means the drug actually doesn't have any effect. And when you reject it, when you reject the null hypothesis, what does that mean? That means you are supporting the positive statement, and that is the correct decision. This is called true positive. That means no error. True positive, correct decision. Okay, guys. So try to think it. Okay, that's why it said it's a brain twister. You will get easily. This is called confusion matrix. Okay, guys. You are going to see this in upcoming ML sessions. Okay, this is a matrix actually for your model. How many true positive and how many false positive. So what is this false positive? This is the number of errors that you are going to do, right? You are classifying this as a positive, but those are false positive. So that's why in machine learning, these are called metrics: false positive, true positive, okay, false negative, true negative. These are the matrix, and this is called confusion matrix. In the similar case, if you see, when null hypothesis is true and you accepted it, did you take the right decision or wrong decision? When null hypothesis is true, that means negative statement is true, and you accepted it. Negative statement is true means what?
The experiment was failure.
And you accepted it, but that means you didn't reject it. That means you took the correct decision or not? Correct decision. So this is, and if negative statement is true and you didn't reject it, that means this is a true negative, no mistake, right? That's why it is a true negative. And when the negative statement is false, null hypothesis is false. Null hypothesis is false means what we should do actually in generic case. If null hypothesis is false, what we need to do? We need to reject it, right? So if null hypothesis is true, we have to accept it. If null hypothesis is false, we need to reject it. But by mistake, by this alpha threshold, we didn't reject it. By some mistake, we didn't reject it. That means what we did?
We
We
accepted
didn't.
it.
So we are accepting a negative statement which is false actually. So this is called what? False negative. And this is called type 2 error. So type 1 error is false positive. Type 2 error is what? False negative. And it took me actually so many time to do a research and get this picture for you guys while I was making the notes, because this is very confusing if you're making someone understand for the first time. So I got this one will be helpful to understand. That's why I put here.
Ashish, like in here, we were rejecting and not rejecting, and we were making some mistakes, right? It's because of the like the threshold value we have, right? So while we were performing the hypothesis testing itself, the threshold was, instead of 0.5, it was determined as 0.7 by the people who are have an authority to do it. So because of that, we were getting this false negative and false positive situation, right?
Correct. Correct.
Else once we done with performing the hypothesis testing, then they will change the threshold.
Correct. Now this type 1 and type 2 error also, like these are very important to consider which error is important for you. This is actually a conceptual question you will get in a DS if you're going for this role. Now suppose, tell me what we mean by false positive, what we mean by false negative, you understood, right? Now tell me, in a health sector, suppose for example, this kind of a question, okay, for you guys. Suppose in a health sector, you are identifying one disease. Okay, you are identifying one disease. When you identified a disease, that is positive. When you don't identify the disease, that is negative. Okay, now tell me, in this scenario, false positive is important or dangerous, or false negative is dangerous? This is the question, conceptual question.
False positive is dangerous.
Negative will be dangerous, right?
Think about it. This is a very fundamental question you are going to get. This is where
Like
you
in
need
a
to
real
do.
time scenario, I would go for false positive scenario.
So you mean to say, if you don't have the disease and you identified as positive, that is false positive? That's what you are saying?
Correct. That's
That
my
is
understanding.
dangerous. That is dangerous than if someone has the disease but he has not identified as
Negative is dangerous.
Yeah, false negative is dangerous.
okay,
And
Kiran. So got
totally
it.
depends on what the situation is, like what we are testing.
Yeah, we are looking for you, Zilpa, before the session. We want to know something from you. But yeah, we'll do that after the session. So here, did you get the importance of false positive, false negative? Now tell me the same scenario where spam mail detection. When you detect a spam mail, that is positive. When you don't detect the spam mail, that is negative. In this scenario, which one is dangerous? False positive or false negative? Think about it. Spam mail detection.
False positive.
Because, so you mean to say, like, if I got the
No,
mail,
negative. If some mails, important mails also goes to spam, then we don't notice it.
Exactly. Some will go directly into spam and sit. It might be an important email.
right. So I think you guys are in the right track and taking your decisions. So this is how you are going to get about, and you are going to practice also this kind of questions in below one. Okay, just to thought you to give you. So here, don't take, so this false positive and false negative has some adverse effect on your whole experimentation exam. So with example, okay, let's see. Okay, this power 1b, actually this thing I did an request of someone, but this one I'm not going to explain you this power. Okay, this is a different context, and I have provided the more detailed statistical explanation in this YouTube video, which is like bit of complex thing. Let's not discuss here. But uh, what I need to understand here, that this alpha value is important, right? Because this is where the threshold you are setting. Okay, so with example, if I'll tell you, can you understand the first statement here? This significance levels means alpha value. I'm saying that threshold 0.05. Setting a lower significance level decrease the type 1 error risk. Is it true? Can you understand this? Initially, this was my threshold. I set it to from 0.05 to 0.005. My domain expert said, change this threshold to 0.005 instead of 0.05. So it decreases a type 1 error. What does that mean? It decreases the type 1 error. That means false positive error. False positive error will happen when, in which scenario? When we accept or reject.
When we reject.
This is what we saw, right, guys? In the up, we have seen this only, right? False positive happens when we reject. Actually, it is true, but we reject it. And which scenario we reject? When it is less than the threshold. If I am decreasing the threshold to bit lesser value, that means decreasing the type 1 label error, because I reject when this is less than this value. Where is my pen? I reject the statement when the probability value is less than this threshold, right? So by decreasing this threshold, I am decreasing the making of the making of mistake of rejection, that is type 1 error. So is this correct to say, or any confusion in this? Think about it properly. So when I reject, there is a chance that I will make type 1 error. And when I reject, based on the threshold. Based on the threshold means what? If less than the threshold. If I am making the threshold also very small, that means less than that threshold chances will be less, isn't it? Do you guys agree with me? Are you okay? Take your time, guys. Think.
Okay. In here, like you are having a threshold of 0.05 at the initial stage, and we were performing the hypothesis test. Then we were finding that the final value of the hypothesis testing is below to the what do we say?
Threshold.
Yeah. Below to the threshold. For example, like let's say like it is 0.04. So that time we know that this testing was not not accepting, like it is a null hypothesis testing. So on that time, to change this, we were changing the alpha value, which is to 0.005. So at the time, again we were saying we're getting the same value of hypothesis testing at the end, which is 0.04. So that time we have a gradual difference between the alpha value and then the hypothesis value. So that time we were on the we were accepting the alternative hypothesis. So
Correct.
that's what you're saying, right?
Yeah, you did it, but you bit mixed all the things. But I'll
Okay.
give you I'll
Okay.
give you the example. Don't worry, guys. This is the first timer. Like, I'm not sure you guys are understanding it. That's a good thing. Okay. So consider this is my threshold. Okay. Forget about this one. Consider this is my threshold 0.05, and the p value I got is 0.04. What I'll do, reject or accept?
Will reject.
Reject.
And if we'll do the rejection, then what type of error possibility is there? Type 1. Agree? Type 1 error happens when?
Yeah.
When you reject the null hypothesis by mistake, isn't it?
But in here, like we haven't done any mistakes, right? Like we have the alpha value of 0.05, and we got the probability of 0.04. So where we didn't.
True. We didn't mistake, but there is a chance, right? I'm saying that I didn't a mistake, but there is a chance that if I'll do a mistake, what is the error that I'm going to get? Type 1 or type 2 error?
Type 1,
If I'll do a mistake, type 1. That is sure, right? That you agree, right? So that means what? Threshold was this. I got the value was 0.04. That's why I rejected it. Now, if I'll change the threshold from here to here, will I reject it? Now my threshold is not 0.05. My threshold is what? 0.005. Will I reject?
No, we don't reject.
No.
Will not reject this, right? If we'll not reject this, then the chance of making type 1 error also less.
Yes.
But chance of type 2 error is more.
Right, exactly. So first part, I just want to make you guys clear. By reducing the threshold, you are making chance of type 1 error is less. But when we do type 2 error, when we accept, when we reject, we make type 1 error. When we accept, we make type 2 error. You guys agree for that matrix, confusion matrix from the confusion matrix?
Yes.
So we are accepting based on this threshold. That means we may reduce the chance of making type 1 error, but indirectly we are creating higher chances of making type 2 error by reducing the threshold. Okay, so that's why I told you this is a brain twister, brain exercise. So
these all dramas will happen based on the alpha value. So if the alpha value was determined incorrectly a bit, then these things will happen, this type 1 type 2 error, or it's a default thing in.
Correct. So I told you, right? Human mistakes.
Okay, this is not default. This may happens in some time, right?
Yeah. So suppose you're while calculating the probability from your statistical data, you are doing mistakes. In that case, also there is a possibility, isn't it? The probability you are calculating wrongly. That is, there is also one chance that you will get some error. Also, with this threshold that we are setting, there also will get some chance to make the error. Now, this is always a trade-off between what? So setting alpha value, that's why we are leaving this to domain expert, because this is a trade-off between, there is a trade-off between what? Type 1 error and type 2 error. If we'll try to eradicate one type of error, the other may occur. If we'll not put, so if I'll make this like 0.0005, so I tell like, okay, so you need to understand which error is dangerous for you. I told you, right, that false positive or false negative. You need to understand that part. Which error we have example here, guys, so that it will be, and I have some questions for you so that you can practice and understand these things.
So Ashish, in a business scenario, in a real-time business scenario, say like we have deployed the whatever our analysis and results are, but in the real market we got a different result, and they come back to us. So in that kind of scenario, what we need to do? We need to do all the exercise again.
So you have one product, right? That's what you said.
Yes. But the expected or the desired results, what we are expecting out of the analysis, what we made, in reality, it came out different. So in that kind of scenario, what we need to do? We need to do all the steps again from 0 to
No, so in that case, so this is simple, right? So when your product is result is not satisfactory, you should not launch that product. So that's why you are trying it with small groups first. If you are satisfied with the result that the product has some effect on the market, then from that group analysis you got it. If that is no effect, then you should not launch that for every customer. That's why we're doing this testing, right?
No, Ashish, see, like I'm trying to ask the question from a management point of view. Okay, I have done my testing on samples of 2 data sets, like maybe 10 people or like maybe 2 states. Okay. So, but when
Okay.
the product is launched like pan India, and I'm getting a different results because of various other factors. So that time I need to consider the new factors and do the analysis again. Is the
Yes, yes,
question.
yes. So that is a different thing. No, that's like so you did the testing in 2 states. That is clear, right? That's what you're saying. You did
Ah,
the
right.
testing in 2 states, and you got the positive response. That's then only you are deploying this for the pan India,
Correct.
right? Now in the pan India, you have some other things that is affecting your result. That you need to take in care separately, right? Because that is not covered in your testing. We are talking about the testing here. And what you said, that is correct, but that analysis is a separate analysis. Because of other states you are getting other effects. So you do one thing: once you see your product is affected pan India, you stop launch that pan India. Again, you consider those points you gathered from the errors from other states, and you try do another testing. This is one approach you can follow.
So, like, will the second analysis what I'm doing, will it be based on the first time thing, or this will be like a fresh exercise again?
Trace exercise in the sense like you need to start from the scratch, right? You have the data, you have the results. Now you have some additional points that is affecting. So not
Yeah.
like phrase. It's not like a phrase.
So, okay, so like I need to take the external factors which have affected the sale,
Correct.
and then based on the previous research results, I need to correlate both the things and then come out with a fresh, what do you call,
Correct.
hypothesis.
Correct. Correct. But without looking the data and the thing, I think the discussing this is like kind of, yeah, we can like kind of discussion that we are doing, but we need to do a real
No, Ashish, I'm a
example.
management student, so my questions will be like this only. Sorry for that.
Okay, so anyone has saying anything, or it is by mistake? Not.
No, I'm having one suggestion here. So, Kiran, somebody is also speaking cross talk, I think.
Okay, okay.
Hariharan.
Let me mute. Maybe by mistake. Uh, just a minute. I'm not able to mute actually. Not able to. Yeah. Please. Prem, right?
Yeah, Kiran. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
Kiran, for answer for your question is, you told that initially 2 states it was success, right? So gradually we have to increase the number of states. Means in which state it is getting problem, you have to analyze it. But we have to continue in which states have given the best results, successful results. So we have to analyze only in which state we are facing a problem. So we have to analyze and separate, means make a different product for them, or made a changes in that product. Means it is how we think inside of business. Means we don't stop the product because in some places if it is running successfully, we don't want to stop that, right? So where the problem arises, we have to solve that and we have to launch that. But we should have all the data. We should consider all the data while calculating. So we are not going to start again fresh. So it will be with the data what we are having already. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. So you guys are doing something like this in your work environment. That's what you were saying, Kiran? Like taking this kind of decision?
No, like see, like in my business, like in SAP FI, we do like this kind of analysis. So I'm trying to understand what is the difference with our analysis and the analysis here.
Okay. I think in that case you just learn for A/B testing also, because there is lots of kind of testing to, this launching product and all. If you're like A/B testing and other types, so we are talking about hypothesis testing here. There are other type of testing also that companies are using to launch their product and to see the result. So try to
Sorry, Ashish, if
explore.
my questions are off track for you.
Yeah, no risk, no risk. See, guys, this is like you guys are sharing your experience only. What Prem also did, that is also. So we are also, lucky to have this kind of experience from you guys. This is from directly from the industry. So helping everyone, not a problem. Okay, so example, let's understand with more example, because I need to ask few questions to understand whether your understanding is clear or not. So first, let's see, a type error is when the null hypothesis is rejected and it is actually true. This is a type 1 error. An example of a type 1 error would be a medical researcher concluding that a new drug is effective at treating a certain condition. Are you guys agree? Example of a type 1 error would be medical researcher concluding that the new drug is effective at treating a certain condition, when in fact the drug has no effect. False positive. Can you sense the false positive scenario here? That you are saying that drug is working, but actually the drug has no effect. Due to your mistake, due to your type 1 error, you are saying what? The drug is affecting. False positive. Now tell me, in this scenario, what is the type 2 error? Medical researcher failing to conclude that the new drug is effective at treating a certain condition. Failing to
Medicine
conclude.
is working, but he says like it doesn't work.
Then doesn't have effect. So that means what? The researcher did a type 2 mistake. False negative. That means he is saying that no, this drug is not working, but actually it has some effect. And he is saying what? It is not working. Another example, let's try to, what is the type 1 error in this scenario? You tell me, and what is the type 2 error? Security system that sets to trigger an alarm when a sensor detects a movement. What is the type 1 error in the scenario? When there is no intruder and you still detect some movement. Right, guys? Your sensor should detect a movement, that is what? Then only you set a alarm. But even if there is no movement and it is triggering the alarm, that means what? False positive alarm.
True.
And when false positive alarm, that is one, that means the sensor is making what? Type 1 error here.
Okay.
Type 2 error in this sense, in this scenario.
So actually there was a movement, but it is not sensing, triggering the alarm. It would be a false negative, right?
Yeah, but the false triggers alarm because of a bird or leaf is moving in the camera range. Some bird moved just in front of that, and it sets the alarm that some intruder are there. In this case, what type of error it is? Type 1, false positive alarm. In the same scenario, what is false negative alarm or type 2 error? That means you have the real intruder, but you fail to detect it. False negative. False negative means what? You are saying everything is okay, but actually there is an intruder. So we have to, take care. You got it, right? This type 1 and type 2 error in this scenario. Anyone who didn't understand? Easy, right? So camera sensor and all the things you need to take care to reduce this kind of error. More example. Now you have to answer me this, okay? Silpa is here. I don't want Silpa to interfere here. Okay, I know, because she knows the answer.
Oh.
So Silpa, please be silent, okay? Be the observer here. Let others answer, because we have already discussed in the evening session this one. Okay, guys. So you need to tell me, read these questions and tell me which choice is the correct answer. So there is a swimming pool, right? Here I am defining my null hypothesis as the water quality is acceptable. And my alternative hypothesis was the water quality is not acceptable. So what is my positive and negative statement here? Water quality is acceptable actually is my negative statement here, because I am putting this inside what? Null hypothesis. Water quality is not
B
acceptable.
is false positive and C is false negative.
B is false positive, C is, whoa, great. Okay, so that means you are saying type 1 error would be B. That means we want to say that.
Type
Okay.
2 is C.
Let other also think and answer. Then you can put your opinion here.
Yeah, same thing, sir. B is positive, false positive, C is false negative.
So when I say false positive, that means what? The water quality is not acceptable is my positive statement, right? When I say false positive, what does this mean? The water quality is not acceptable. You are saying water quality is not acceptable, or you are not saying water quality is not acceptable? You are in for of this HA or not? That's not my question. Others, can you please?
Please.
Yeah, someone is saying, but the voice is too low. Anyone other wants, like, is this a B the correct answer?
From my understanding, I think
C is the right answer.
yeah.
I think B.
Yeah.
So B means what? The club closes the pool when it doesn't need to be closed. Doesn't need to be closed means what? It is favoring H0 or HA. Doesn't need to be closed means favoring H0 or HA.
It is favoring HA.
H0. H0. Water quality is acceptable, right? If water quality is acceptable, we should not close the club.
Right. If the water quality is acceptable, we need not to close the pool. That means it is favoring the H0. That means what? Negative part. So I think what? So that means which is the correct answer, guys?
Type error when we reject is true.
They close the pool. The water quality is actually acceptable. That means which option I'm talking over here?
The club when it doesn't need to be option B, right?
So I think you all are correct, right? You all are saying, anyone or someone was saying C, right?
Yeah.
Did you right?
Yeah.
No, we were misunderstood.
Huh. No. See, that's why we're practicing this question, because that's why it is called confusion matrix. It is very easy to be confused, right? So don't feel guilty that you were giving wrong answer. And the first time you were doing very good. Okay. So like I started, I took so many blocks I went, so many things then I got to know, okay, this is happening. Now, so here, type 1 error is dangerous or type 2 error is dangerous? False positive is dangerous or false negative is dangerous?
One moment.
Type 2.
Type 2.
Yeah, type 2 will be more dangerous.
Tell me, guys, here type 2 means what? False negative?
Yeah.
What is your negative statement here?
The club doesn't close the pool when it actually needs to be
What?
closed.
Water quality is acceptable.
Not acceptable.
Not acceptable.
See, guys, I changed it. That's why I said this is a tweak in the first question. H0 is the water quality is acceptable. That means null. That means what? Null hypothesis means water quality is acceptable. So type 1 error means what? False positive, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So false positive means like you are saying this one,
No, you
water
asked,
quality.
Ashish, just now you asked like type 2, which one will be dangerous, right?
Ha.
So that must be type 2 because the water, type
Think, yeah.
Choice C.
Sorry, which one? Choice C. Why
Yeah.
choice C is now coming into
It is
picture?
dangerous, right?
Yeah.
Ha.
Type 2 will be dangerous, right? Because like
Type,
the
yeah,
water quality
type
was
2,
not
not
acceptable.
acceptable.
Then there
it
will
can
be a
affect
problem.
the health of the people,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Then
So type
so
2.
dangerous will
So,
be type 2 only, no?
Yeah.
right.
If it is
And tell
type
me,
1,
okay. If it is type 1,
yeah.
then
If it is type 1, then the water quality is good, but still they
okay,
have
but you
closed means
close the pool.
then yeah.
That is no harm
Then
to the people, right?
yeah.
So that's why type 1 and type 2 error is like, this is very important to choose which error you should focus. So if type 2 is more vital for me, then I have to careful about what? False negative, isn't it? I have to careful about what? False negative part. Because false negative is kind of type 2 error here. I should be careful to say that the water quality is good. Now here, what should be my alpha threshold so that I can reduce the type 2 error from these three choices?
0.1.
0.001.
Dinesh, there is 0.001 is not in the option also.
Okay, 1 minute.
0.01, 0.025, 0.1.
Okay, yeah, 0. Oh, I said 20. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I instead
So
of
tell me
0.01, I said.
which alpha value I should
0.1
set.
will be more dangerous.
Sorry, 0.1 will be more dangerous. I'm
So,
saying like if type 2 error is dangerous for me, which alpha value I should set from these three so that I will do less type 2
Okay,
error
okay,
or
to
type 2 error.
reduce, right?
Yeah.
0.025.
0.01 because that is the highest value in this. So if we increase the alpha value, then
And then 0.1 is the highest value.
yeah, that's what.
You said
he said
0.01.
Oh God,
0.01.
this zeros, God.
So guys, you recollect what is, if you remember, decreasing the alpha value is that trade-off. While I'm saying the trade-off example, what we did, decreasing the alpha value reduces of making type 1 error, but increasing type 2 error. What? By decreasing the alpha value, lower the significance level.
Oh,
So if I want to decrease the type 2 error, which value I should choose here? Higher alpha or lower
Higher
alpha?
alpha. Higher alpha.
higher alpha.
Right.
So,
So that's what.
0.1.
That's what. So here among these three, which I need to choose? 0.1 here.
Fine,
Because
one.
if we'll choose 0.1, then there is less chance to make type 2 error, which is very dangerous in this scenario. Okay.
Yep.
So answer also have okay, I have written the answer also using higher signal. Now tell me this second question, guys. Same thing.
See, he chooses a city where demand is not actually high enough.
Right. And what about others? What they are saying? So she said option C. That means he's setting up a business. What is the null hypothesis here? The demand is not high. What is the alternative
Type 1
hypothesis?
is false positive, right? So see the
False
answer.
positive. False positive. That means the demand is high enough. He is assuming the demand is high enough, which is a false statement. That means what? Actually, there is not high demand, but he is thinking that the demand is high enough. So false positive he is favoring. That's why he chooses the city where the demand is not actually high enough. Now tell me here, everyone agree with this or anyone having? Let me verify with the answer. Explanation also saying the same thing. Now here tell me which error is dangerous or what would be the consequence of type 2 error? Sorry, I show you the answer. I think type 1 error you got means type 2 error also you'll get, right? False negative. What is false negative?
He doesn't choose the city where the high demand, like choice A, because he was not choosing where the actually it is high, right?
Let's see.
Which error is most costly for that people, for Seth? Type 1 error or type 2 error?
Type 1 will be more dangerous, right? Because he's supposed to invest a lot. If it is not running successfully, then he'll be in a jeopardy.
So here in this case, everyone agrees with type 1 error?
Yeah.
Everyone agrees that type 1 error is most important for Seth to decide here, because if he chooses a city where the demand is not high, he has already invested so many things there, right? But type 2 error is fine, like he didn't choose the city where the demand is actually high, but he didn't invest anything there. So type 1 error is most costlier to Seth, right? So here tell me which alpha value I should set for Seth.
To reduce
Low
the
alpha,
type
it
1, right?
means 0.025 for type 1.
No, 0.01.
Which one is lower here in among these three?
0.025 is not lower. Yeah, 0.01 is lower. Huh?
I'm glad that Dinesh, what about you? Dinesh will make another 2 zeros in between.
No. Like,
so
Which is
0.01 is the lower, right? So this is 0.01, then 0.02, then 0.1, right? So making a lower alpha value here, the chance of making type 1 error is less. So we should go for alpha. So what is the point here? You have to see the situation here, which is costlier. So these are the questions also. If we'll go for, they will try to ask this type of questions, whether a true positive is important for me or true negative is important for me. Because once you started going for other session in machine learning, there is a matrix called F1 score or precision, recall. These are two matrices, precision and recall. Precision formula, true positive plus false positive. This is the formula. Recall means true positive, false negative. Now in interview they will ask you, if this is my business, okay, this is my business, this is what I am selling, precision will be important for me or recall will be important for me? How to distinguish? This is a question actually.
Precision will be important.
No, that factor is dependent on what? If you see this formula here, right? That depends on this FP and FN, false positive and false negative. Now for your business, as we saw here, for Seth and that swimming pool example, In one scenario, false positive was important. One scenario, false negative was important. So you have to find which one is important. Now in that medical scenario, I told you, if identifying the disease is positive, if not identifying the disease is negative, then which precision and recall, which one will be important in this scenario? Because false positive will be dangerous or false negative will be dangerous in that disease scenario.
False negative will be there.
Negative, right? Because if you have the disease and if you are identified as you are negative, you are going to die.
Yeah.
Right. So in that case, what I will say, false negative is a vital factor for me. So what is the among these two metrics which is important? Recall. Because here in the recall we have false negative to identify. If false negative is more, that means you are doing blunder mistakes and your recall will be very, so if false negative is more, then your recall will be high or less. If false negative is more, your recall will be high or less.
False negative.
False negative is more, recall will be
High, right?
High.
high. High.
Guys, 2/8 and 2/10, which is higher?
It will be less
2/8
because it
and
comes in the
2/10.
denominator.
So if so,
2/8 is less.
2/8 is less or 2/10 is less?
2/10.
2/10.
2
Yeah,
by
no, no.
10, yeah.
So these are, that's why they ask these questions in interview, no? That's why. So you are learning this for the first time and you are grasping it correctly. Okay, so if you'll do some practice, if you'll refer some other external things, you will be 100% clear. So here, more FN means less recall. So I need to so if I'm running a machine learning algorithm in my business, I should choose the matrix as recall and my aim to increase this recall so that I will do less false negative errors. Okay, so this kind of questions will come using this false negative and true. That's why it was actually not in your session actually, but this is very basic thing you should know about it. False positive, and you are going to in your not today or this when you are going for module 13 will be over. See guys, module 15 session 29 you are going to understand this things in more detail. See here, TP, FP, area under the curve, AUC. Okay, so these things you are going to understand in the sessions, but I'm not sure whether I will take or not, because maybe till 13 or 14 I'll take.
Ashish, you're the mentor until 27 of this month.
27 of this month, but I'm not sure whether till which part I'm going to complete module 13, because I think the evening batch, Silpa's batch, I stopped in module 13. Then another good mentor from IIT also, he took care of this ML part. Okay, let's see. But yeah, but the thing is, you are anyway, whoever will take the session, they were going to explain this in details. Again, you are going to encounter these things, and it is important. Okay, TP, FP, true positive, false positive. While machine learning, you are going to use this. Now I have some problem statement for you guys.
Ashish, before we dive into this, like I have a question that if alpha value was increased, then what will happen? And if it is decreased, like you said something, right? So for my note, can you please repeat it, or else show me that?
No worries,
Type
no worries,
2
no worries.
error if alpha value is increased. Type 1 error if it is decreased.
This one, Dennis, you're looking for this
Yeah,
one.
yeah. If it is decreased, then type 1 error, right? Type 1
No,
error
not type 1
risk.
error. Risk of making type 1 error will reduce if you are lowering the threshold. Do I need to explain this again?
No.
Okay. Consider that 0.5 and 0.005 example, right? So we reduce there the threshold. That may decreases making type 1 error, but increases making type 2 error. Okay. So we are moving ahead, Dinesh, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So suppose we are working for a company that is developing new softwares that aims to improve the image recognition accuracy. You have two softwares. These two softwares or two models that you are using, it is recognizing image and classifying the image. And every image has an accuracy. What do you mean by accuracy? That means how accurate to detect a image. So if I'm giving you a cat image, you have to say me, this is a cat with this much of confidence. The accuracy. So if I give you 5 cat images and you identified 3 of them are correct, what is the accuracy here? 5 cat images from 5. Yeah. So to make you understand, I gave you this example. So that means accuracy, there is a score. What is the accuracy of detecting? And every your new software has some data about your accuracy. This is some sample data, current software that you are using. So this is the accuracy score of that software. This is the new software. This is the new accuracy score. Here, tell me what is the null hypothesis if I am doing this experimentation. The null hypothesis is that the new software has the same accuracy as current one, or no improvement using new software. Null hypothesis, correct? Alternative hypothesis is that your new software is going to work perfectly. Okay, there is improvement using new software. Now let's see how I'm going to do this null hypothesis and all. Okay, guys. The first example we are struggling to get, right? This is one simple example to do that. You have now the data. This is the accuracy data. In our that placebo example, you collect the cholesterol level data. Now we can use a t-test. Why to use a t-test, guys? Why not a z-test? Can you remember? Can you recollect this from our yesterday session? When to use T, when to use Z. Now, why we need to use T and Z here, guys? To calculate the P value. We saw yesterday, right? P value we can calculate. The function is returning two value. One is test statistics, one is P value. So this P value is deciding whether you have to accept or reject, isn't it?
True.
So why we have using a t test here? Because I told you, right? If two scenario you are going to use t statistics. One scenario when your sample size is less than 30. What is the other scenario?
When we don't know the distribution.
Right. So Silpa is here. So okay. So if you recollect, when we don't know the distribution, then also will maybe you have larger sample size, but you don't know the distribution. Distribution means what? This data distribution. So that's why we're going to use T table here. Okay. Now, what else I left? Which is type of hypothesis test used to compare the means of two groups? We will use the SciPy library to perform a two sample test. Okay. So first, let me show you how to calculate the alpha value. This is my current. Can you see what I did? In a current variable, I store all the accuracy in a list. Okay. This is my new, right? New software accuracy details. And if you can see, the length of this list is 90. That means number of sample size here is 90 for each software. Now tell me, what is the degree of freedom here?
90.
89.
Yes, 88.
89.
90 minus 1, right?
Yeah.
Degree of freedom is length of your sample data minus 1.
Yeah.
So
-1.
So what is the degree of freedom for both this software? 90 plus 90 minus 2, isn't it? Like 89
Yeah.
for this one, 89 for this one, right, guys? So using this library, now if you see here, using this library, I can calculate the p-value immediately. What is the library I'm using? SkyPy.stats we are seeing, right? T-test indicator. T-test indicator. To know about this function again, right? We need to go. And this function is taking how many parameter here? New sample data and current sample data. So T-test indicator function I collected from this SkyPy.stats. And in that function, I'm passing this my new data and current data as the argument. And this function is returning me what? Two things. T statistic. We have seen this yesterday, right, guys? Or you
Yes.
want me to?
You also said that if we interchange the new and current also, then we'll be in a problem.
Did we see this function or something else? Calculate the T test
T.ppf.
PPF, right? That was a different one. Calculate the T test for the means of two independent samples of scores, A and B, right? And sorry, and it returns what? The result as what? T statistic and P value. Degree of freedom also it is set. Guys, this means that degree of freedom it is giving. I have not seen this. Is it like the newer version? Newer version, that is, see, that's why you need to you know refer this documentation. In every change of version also they implemented some new things, right? So you can see in newer version this was some new method got introduced. Okay, let's not read. If I'll read it. So the point is, this is returning what? P value and T statistic. And I am capturing that value in the two variable, T and P here. Okay. And here my alpha, this I am going to set. This is my threshold, 0.05, told by my domain expert. Now, if my P value is less than this value, then what I'm going to do? Reject my null hypothesis. What was my null hypothesis? That the new software is not okay, or the new software is not working as expected. If I reject that statement, that means what I'm saying? The new software has better accuracy. Oh, sorry. I think it will give me the error because so much time it is taking. Yeah, done. So guys, are you getting it or not? TP 90, then it ran, right? Can you see what is the P value I'm getting here? 0.346, which is less or greater than? Dinesh, please you say. This
It's greater
P
than.
is greater than, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
So that means what? I'm not going to reject, I'm going to accept. True, right?
Yeah.
And the T statistics value, we are getting it as 0.944. Now the question is how this is getting calculated? This P value and T statistic. We are using the function and we did it. Okay, this is very super simple now. You write down your observations of the old software, write down the observations of new software, pass into this function. This will give you a p-value. And as per your threshold, you said, okay, if it is less than, I'm going to reject. Now, what is happening inside this? What is this t? How this t is getting calculated? This is how the t statistics is getting calculated. They are calculating the current applications data's mean. How to calculate that? See guys, these are NumPy implementation. Are you seeing what I am doing here? Is these are the NumPy implementations. You are using NumPy library and various functions. NumPy and SkyPy, two important libraries we are seeing here. Okay, one is SkyPy, one is NumPy. Now, what actually happening in the code? In the behind the code, you are calculating two means separately. This is how. So this is a proof that the t statistics you are getting from the library and the t statistics you are calculating manually is same. Mean of current software, mean of new software you calculated. Did you understand how this got calculated? Sum of the list that we have current. So what is current? This is the variable which holds the accuracy of current software in a list and length of that list. That is mean value. Difference of these two means, how to calculate? This minus this, current mean, or sorry, new mean minus current mean, difference. Now t value is calculated using this formula, t statistics value, that is your old software mean minus new software mean divided by square root of old software standard deviation square divided by length n1 plus new standard deviation square divided by n2. This is the formula to calculate the t statistic. And this is what I have implementing here. First of all, I'm calculating the standard deviation using NumPy. Standard deviation of both the things, right, guys? Both the distribution, old and new, current standard deviation and new standard deviation. Now here, if I'll consider the combined degree of freedom, how I'll calculate? N1, that is current size, plus N2 minus 2. So this degree of freedom will help me to calculate what, guys? The p value. So to prove this t statistics is same as, if you see here, I have not ran this. Let me run this. So whatever I have written here, I have done the same thing in this line. Can you understand this line? Not the upper one, this line. This is exactly same what I wrote here. Do you agree? This is the real use case of implementing NumPy library. See, the mathematics we are writing in the paper, same thing we are writing in a code here. Mu old minus mu new, that is difference. What is difference? Here, mean 1 minus mean 2.
Ashish, where we were calculating the standard deviation of the current and
Here,
new, right?
Here.
Yeah. In this, yeah, that I can see. But in this, like you have given two parameters, right? One is the current value and one is the new value. What is the DD of?
Great. I forgot totally. So again, just you search this in Google, you will get the documentation. Okay, this much simple it is. Now, can you see how many parameters actually I should give? So many, right?
Mm-hmm.
And parameter, regarding the parameters, A means what?
Calculate the
The
standard
data,
deviation of a variable. Yeah.
the data,
Mm-hmm.
right? Axis is optional. And this is also getting something changed in the new version. Data type is something different. What we are asking, DDoF, right?
Yeah, DDoF.
Means delta degree of freedom.
Delta means degree of freedom is fine. Delta degree of freedom.
The divisor used in calculations is n minus degree of freedom, where n represents the number of elements. By default, delta degree of freedom is 0. Now, to verify this, shall we remove this? And can we see anything happen? Because default value is what for this particular parameter? Guys, what is the default value?
0.
That means if I don't give anything, it will be 0, right? Let's run this. Degree of freedom 1, degree of freedom 0. What does that mean? Guys, if you recollect the standard deviation formula, what is the standard deviation formula? Summation
Square
of
root of
xi. Correct. So sigma square. Let's talk about variance. Okay. Here, n minus 1 and n we saw, right? This is what it is saying. Either you have to go for n minus 1 or n minus 0.
N minus 1 for sample and N for the
For
population.
population, correct. So here what we should use? N minus 1 or n minus 0? N minus 1. That's what this
For
DD of,
sample.
yeah, that's what this DD of means. Whether from n, what is the value that you want to subtract? Here we have to subtract n minus 1, right? So that's why we have given what? 1 here. Dinesh, now understood? Or
Yeah.
still some confusion, right? So this whether to go for n minus 1 or n minus 0, this DDOF. Got right? So that's why the output is different here from here, because here we are calculating the standard deviation without doing n minus 1. Okay, so that's why DDOF is 1. Now if we'll do this, what? It is same as this one, because this is my sample data. Okay. The t statistics is used to determine whether the difference between the two means of the two independent samples is statistically significant or whether it could have happened by chance. So the difference between two means is telling what? I told you that a goodness of fit test, right? That difference what we're seeing in chi-square. What we're seeing, if the difference is large, that means the distribution is different. So here also we are calculating the same thing by comparing the means first. And here what is the decision we took initially? We accept the null hypothesis. That means the software don't have that effect, right? That means the new software and old software, it is kind of similar. No benefit using the new software. This is also you can derive from the t statistics.
Ashish,
Yeah.
showing the first table, showing
Kiran, your
0.9.
voice is breaking a bit.
Okay, is it better now?
Yes, yes. Now it is better.
Yeah, so according to the table what is showing above, in the new it is showing 0.91. So there's a marginal improvement.
Still,
Eh,
guys, are you also
Kiran, your
struggling?
voice is not, good.
So the table, you're saying from
Here,
table, right?
yes. Table.
This one.
Yeah, 0.89 and 0.91. Sorry, 91. So
Oh,
there
this
is a
one. First,
marginal
first.
increase. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Then,
So it means that there is some improvement in the deployment of the software. Correct?
but we, like you are calculating, we are considering only one here. Like we have rest 89 data points are there. So that's why we're doing it. You can't say by looking the first element. That's why we're doing all these statistical tests.
So I need to go through all the range in both the current
Ah.
and the new.
Yeah, so that's why you need not to go through all this. You have the statistical method to identify that for you. You need not to. That's why.
That is the whole purpose of the analysis.
Purpose. Correct. Right. Exactly. So these methods we are learning so that we need not to go through each accuracy and compare whether it is okay or not. So that's why mean comparison is here, right? Mean mu1 minus mu2. What is the difference of this? Because this is one distribution of data, this is one distribution of data. Whether these two distribution of data similar or not, that's why we're doing all this drama. And I am just a minute, guys. Can you understand this part? Making sense to you, this statement?
Above the shoulder.
Above the shoulder.
Bouncer.
Oh, okay. It is going as a bouncer to you. So I was like, where is like shoulder and all mentioned here? Okay, so let me then read it out for you. Okay, the T statistics is used to determine whether the difference between two, this we already saw, right? The T statistics is interpreted by comparing it to a critical value from a T distribution with a specified number of degrees of freedom. So T statistic is coming from what? That table. Here the degree of freedom, I think what? Length of the sample 1 minus length of sample 2 minus 2. Just give me 1 minute, guys. My laptop is going to die. If the absolute values of T statistics is greater than the critical value from the T distribution, then the difference between the means of the two samples is statistically significant. Critical value means, are you getting what is critical value? How we need to find out the critical value? That table, guys, you recollect yesterday's. The table, degree of freedom, then the alpha, then you choose from the table which one is the critical value. So if the absolute value of the T statistics is greater than the critical value from the T table, then the difference between the means of two samples is statistically significant. What does that mean? Significant means there is a difference in two distribution. When there is a difference between the two distribution means what? That means your new product has some effect. That's why there is a difference. If it has no effect, then it will be similar, isn't it? And also sign of the T statistics, whether you are getting positive or negative. Yesterday we are getting something negative, right? The sign also decide the T statistics indicate the direction of the difference between the means of two samples. If the T statistics is a positive sign, then the new sample mean is higher than the current sample mean.
I think
And
the
the
next sentence explains it all. Yeah.
So tell me this one. I think this one you will able to tell me quickly, right? A scientist wants to test whether a new fertilizer will increase the yield of the crop or not. What is the null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis for this?
The fertilizer will not increase, that is null hypothesis.
And the crop yield will increase, that is, so these are some
alternate hypothesis.
so these are some sample questions I made you to understand quickly. Now because I'm not sure how you can access it, I should have given you this to tell me what is the p value, what is the T statistics. Okay, if you will do it with me, I think that will be better. But no worries, I have uploaded these notes also. You try to run this code once, okay, once you finish the session. So here if you see another example of what a company claims that their new low sugar cereal means what, that sweet syrup, right? A random sample of 50 boxes of new syrup and 50 boxes of old syrup. The sweetness of each syrup is measured in units of sugar per ounce. So this values is what? Sugar per ounce. And this is the new syrup, this is the old syrup. These are the sugar per ounce in that syrup. 50 boxes you took and you calculate the sugar per ounce and you took 50 observations in the new and the old. Again, same thing. $50 and $50. Let me run it. Here, if I'll calculate the T statistics manually without using the SciPy library, how to calculate? Same thing, right? That we did here. Here, same thing, right? Let's do that, whether I have calculated this or not. Can you see what is happening the T statistics here? Minus 28.298. So when it is minus, so see the difference we are getting here in the above example. What is the T? 0.944. That means less, right? Here we are getting what? Higher. This is what it, so whatever you told, it is going above your head. This is what we are saying here, right? Let's not about the sign one. This one means which one? If the absolute value is T statistics is greater than the critical value, or the difference between the means of the two samples is statistically significant. That means higher T statistics. That means there is some difference between two distribution. If there is difference between two distribution, that means something is working. And how to verify that? So T statistics is 28.298. Okay. What is the P value? If you see here also I'm getting T statistics and P value using this function. I pass this data, old data, new data, This is my alpha threshold. Now here I'm print the p value is what? Can you see what is the p value here? Is pretty much less than what? Alpha value, isn't it?
Yes, yes.
So what we are going to do? Reject the null hypothesis. That means what? The new software has some effect on accuracy. Oh, okay. This is not software, guys. Sorry. The new syrup, right?
Yeah,
Has
the new
better,
serial. Yeah.
has better sweetness. Okay, I forgot to change it. Okay. I hope you can understand now. So we are rejecting the null hypothesis here because the p value we are getting and the t statistics we are getting, p value is less than the threshold. Now this is the task to you guys, how to calculate the p value without using any module or function. I show you how to calculate the t statistics, right? This is how you need to calculate the t statistics. Now your small practice question is, don't use this library to calculate the p value, calculate it manually, like I calculate the t value here.
So the p value is greater than the alpha value, right? It is 5.88, that is 0.05.
No, sorry, I forgot here. E to the power minus 49. That means 10 to the power minus 49.
Okay.
So this into 10 to the power minus 49. You can imagine, it's a very small number. Close to zero, you can say. It's close to zero.
Okay, e to the power minus 49 means it is e means 10.
See guys, I don't know whether I'll get the answer or not, but I
Okay.
usually does like this. Okay, I usually do like this, like how to
Then match in a document.
I think e to the power 49. So e has some value with it, right? E means, I'm just making sure whether that is the same e that you were talking about, or this is what happened. E to the power 49 in math. Guys, can you try to find out?
Factor of 49.
So e to the power minus 49 is e to the power or 10 to the power? That's what my question is. No.
E to the power of 49. Okay, let me ask this GPT guy.
Yeah. Guys, can you use Chat GPT? E to
Yeah,
power.
can you please give that number here so that I can paste it here? Does not have.
Okay.
Yeah, e to the power 49. E49 means, like, I apologize, I don't have anything it says.
No worries.
Yeah.
So this is all about your statistical session, guys. So from tomorrow, I think I am the host. So from tomorrow, I think it will be changed, right? We have some new topics to cover, like that is the visualization part. So I pinged Dinesh.
Yeah.
Check.
I'm on it.
I'm trying to help. Silpa, you are here in this session, or you left? I forgot to give you the link yesterday. I think she left, right?
God, again, this copy paste issue was raised for me.
Not getting?
Like, this copy paste thing was not working in my system. Again.
Write it, no, 5.88, then write e to the power.
Yeah.
Don't write the whole number. E to the power minus 49. That e means 10 to the power minus 49, or that e value is something called 3 point something, right?
E minus 49.
E value.
The expression, yeah, the expression represents the
Singular
number
number.
in scientific notation. It is expanded as 5.8878 multiplies the rise of 10.
What is that? 5.7.88.
I just gave a number like 5.8878 e to the power of 49.
Huh.
Then it shows, then it says the expression 5.8878 is e to the power of 49 represents the number of scientific notation. It can be expanded as 5.8878 multiplied by 10 raised to the power of
10.
E49 like
Correct.
that.
All
Yeah.
right. Right. So 10, right? 10. So I was
Yeah, yeah.
confused whether it is Euler's number to the power 10 to the power minus 49 or 10. So that means
Yeah,
what? 10.
in the
Right?
decimal form, this number is extremely small, closer to zero. More precisely, it is equal to 0.00000, like that. There is a lot of zeros.
So chat GPT is always, it will explain in detail. So now you got, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I have a question for you. I think we have close to 11. So anyway, we have completed this part till now. So I was
Ashish,
worried
what is
actually.
that hypothesis? Like, we have hypothesis 1, hypothesis testing 1, 2, 3, and all those.
Examples, keeping. So more examples, more understanding.
Okay. That examples is, I thought there is a 3 types of hypothesis testing, 1, 2, 3.
No, not like that. So that
No,
means
one is enough.
so, so hypothesis test. That's why that means they are giving the importance here. Like try to explain it more details. Hypothesis testing one, hypothesis testing one, or like, I can say what this is hypothesis testing. This is how you do it. That's all. Not that problem. With example, and please try to do the assessment for this
Yeah,
statistical part, guys.
like
Okay.
that's the catch. Like I haven't touched one assessment, but it's like, there is assessment in everything, which is banging my head.
And from tomorrow, we'll see module 10. Okay, here we'll see the visualization part. So the statistical part and the probability part, like we cleared somehow. Okay, so that was my
So
expectation.
kindly upload this one also, sir. But
I already did that. I did that yesterday night, 1 o'clock, while I was going to sleep, because I knew. So you will get the notes from there. And there I have mentioned, because one session.
no, not the notes. That topics, syllabus.
That's important schedule.
Yeah, schedule.
So you take it, no? You take it and book, keep it as your bookmark, no? I'll ping the chat.
Yes, sir.
So this is nothing but that your brochure that you got, right? Those topics, they made it in this format.
You already did one time, but again you lost it.
So do keep it in, bookmark it so that you know, because here you will get a clear picture what we are going through and what is coming next. Even if you guys have some time, you can go to the next topics and do your research. Then tomorrow, if I'll take the session, that will be helpful to understand quickly. That also you can do.
In these things, I can find the collab link. So in that collab link, you have given this notes, it seems, right?
So copy that collab link.
Mm-hmm.
Because here I have used these pictures. No, if I'll give you the notebook, these pictures will it won't be popped up in front of you.
Okay.
So these things, right? This is actually, these pictures and all very important. This one, without this, I like very difficult to make someone understand what is type 1 and type 2 error. So I don't want you to lose this picture. That's why I provided this link. So whoever is accessing the link, they will be able to get it full. Okay, guys. So any question now? I think if you want to proceed, you can go. And if in case you have any questions to ask. Okay, I have some more questions. I forgot. The shoe manufacturer wants to know. Can you try to, those who are staying, can you try to understand this? What I'm asking here?
Sure. A shoe manufacturer wants to know if the mean shoe of a man is different.
So a shoe manufacturer wants to know what if the mean shoe size of the men is different from the mean shoe size
Women.
of women.
Yeah.
I'm not sure why he wants to know that, but that is makes sense. Okay,
Mhm.
but a sample 50 men and 50 women are randomly selected.
Yep.
And their shoe sizes are recorded. Test the hypothesis that the mean shoe size of men is different from the mean shoe size of women at the 5% significance level sample data. What does this mean? This last two lines or last one line says so many things about the information. It gives you the alpha.
Yeah.
What is the alpha? 0.05.
Yep.
And test the hypothesis that the mean shoe size, that means what? Calculate the p-value or t statistics or critical value. So here, degree of freedom is what? If I'll calculate the whole population data, sorry, if I calculate the both sample data, degree of freedom is
199.
-2.
Sorry, 98.
50 for men,
Yeah,
50
yeah,
for women,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
-2.
98.
Degree of freedom is 98. Alpha
98.
is 0.05.
Yeah.
Critical value you can find from the T table, T.ppf.
Yeah.
And
1
what is
minus alpha
alpha?
divided by 2. Alpha is
Why?
0.05.
So here why it is divided by 2? It should be 1 minus alpha, right guys? So this is my critical value. How to calculate the p value in T statistics?
As you said yesterday, we were using 1 minus alpha to know, like, you know.
The first parameter. I told you to explore this function. I
Yeah,
don't know
yeah,
about that.
yeah, yeah.
I told you to explore
Like
this
we
function and tell
explored
me.
it actually. We explored it, like you have gone through the documentation and explained this. Like 1 minus alpha means so that we can get the accurate result of, like, from one, what is the, like, leftover value over there, like that.
So that means
Probability.
Yeah,
probability we are giving as which probability? Not the rejection probability, the acceptance probability. 1 minus alpha. So alpha is 0.05, right? So we did in the class, but we didn't do properly. That's why I told you to do it.
Okay.
So here I did it 1 minus alpha by 2. Why I did it? So try to again, guys. So that's why I try reading this documentation, this function, this because this is important. And if you guys are observing here, right? Like every new version, they are implementing something new. That means this is
Yeah.
new version of this. We got something where now it is not possible for everyone to be updated. So refer the documentation every time, even if you are sure also, because there you'll get some new thing. Okay, guys. So tell me if you have any questions, or we'll wind up the session. And tomorrow we don't have class, right?
Yeah.
Tomorrow is
Friday.
Friday. Okay. Then I think Monday. So from Monday, we are going to jump into the visualization part. Not here. Which one? This one. Module 10.
Yeah. So, like, I have a question that, still I have not touched the assessment parts. Like, is there anyone attended 4 or 5 assessments? Can you guys please share your experience about it?
I think no one
So
is
then,
doing the assessment here.
Attended.
Those were like 40 questions and secure.
But
okay,
it
MCQs,
is
okay.
not like for every assessment there are out of 50 marks or 100. Every assessment depends on them.
Okay. So
First
fine then.
assessment.
Because
50
from
out
tomorrow,
of 56
okay.
or 75 depends on the module you are
Okay.
attending.
Because from tomorrow I have 4 days of continuous leave, so that's what I'm thinking. Like,
Yeah,
okay.
but other second assessment like programming, Python programming was a bit tough. Other than that,
Okay.
else other everything was bit fine.
Okay. Okay. Fine.
It
Fine then.
was
Fine then.
multiple choice questions.
Okay.
But if you are going to attend the second assessment,
Yeah.
be very confident with the
Yeah. Yeah.
program.
Sure. Sure. Because like the problem is like I think I'm pretty fine with Python nowadays. I don't know like where I gained
Yeah,
this
now
confidence.
I think that's the mistake I have made. Even I am also fine with the coding, but I have attended in starting itself, so I
Yeah.
got very less points.
Yeah, and thanks to us, just like made me a pro in Python programming as as per my
No,
mindset.
no, not my thing. Like what I got, I just passed on to you. This is
Yeah,
not
because
specific.
yesterday I was doing the
So,
code kata stuffs. I usually refer some GPT, and usually I refer Geek for Geeks and all those. Yesterday, I think for 3 or 4 programs, I haven't referred anything. I tried sometimes, and I tried some of your techniques. Like you used to comment out some programs, and you used to check what is the output for that. So I derived all those. So yeah, you're also been in, you know,
And
no, that's
one.
I
Yeah.
learned from someone. I passed that.
Yeah.
It's like you also, you guys, even if after 1 year also, I request you guys also do the same, share your knowledge,
Sure.
because the
but
industry is
what
in,
I
yeah.
find was now I can be with I can debug.
Yeah.
Ah,
Like that is
that's what
also
I
one
said.
skill, right?
That you are observing the difference right now. So don't worry for the right now what is happening in the future. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
eventually, so even if you are module 20, you will feel another new things. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
at module 20 you will be very comfortable on the statistics and other things,
Sure.
so don't worry. So but this one is important, guys, because whether you are going for data analysis, data scientist, anything that needs some interaction with the business or management,
Mm-hmm.
you, if you know these things, it will be very easy to convince them or show them the data you have. And I recommend you guys, after completing module 10, you try to implement all this in your work environment,
Sure.
because
So these are the things where if we are opening that stock markets, we used to find that graphs and all,
right,
which
right.
one is so in the back end these things are happening.
Correct, exactly. And
Oh.
Python has, and this is again, guys, this session, what is we have scheduled, no? This
Mm-hmm.
is not all, okay? This is just a small portion, okay? And
Mm-hmm.
if we'll try to do research after reading this, if we'll try to do research, you will find other, libraries and there which is having better visualization, and it is
Sure.
updating day by day. Okay, so this is just the starting. So implement this in your work environment, showcase to your manager or your colleague or your team. Okay, you are looking the data before like this. Now using this visualization, you see the data. See the difference
Sure.
there.
Sure. Sure. Sure.
Okay, but try to do it. And also in module 11, we are going to see some development work. You are happy with the coding part, but you have not used in ID, right? To
Yeah.
create some applications.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday I created some applications. Shall I show to you guys if
Yeah.
you are
Sure.
okay?
Sure.
Yes,
Sure.
sir, sure,
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, I
And
created
glad.
one application, small application using Bard API. You heard about
Okay.
Bard, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Google Bard.
So I have now my own application which will answer every question I'll ask him. Okay, that's what I
Oh.
can do now. So I'm not sure whether it will hang my system or not. Just a minute, let me stop it and stop the screen and open this application and then share my screen. Just
Okay.
1 minute. So what I did, this is what you are also going to do once you have the project. You have to develop one application
Okay.
which will do certain tasks for you.
So we gonna have a hands-on experience on Visual Studio also.
I am using Visual Studio. You can use PyCharm or Spider.
Okay. Okay. Oh, so the PyCharm and Spider is also work as in like app development thing also.
Yeah, so this is called ID, right? This is called ID. ID means what?
Okay.
Where you
So
write it.
we supposed to download the PyCharm or Spider also, right? Because if you say like I'll just download
No,
it
you guys
today.
downloaded Anaconda, right? That time I
Yeah.
told you to download Anaconda, you'll get everything in one place.
Yeah,
So
I
already,
think as per my system, it shows like I supposed to install it. If you say like I'll just install it today and then I'll just keep it because you know about my network, right?
no, Anaconda you already installed, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So you need not to install anything
Okay.
because it is already there. If you search the navigator, Anaconda navigator, then the
Mm-hmm.
navigator you have, if you recollect, you have every
Yeah, yeah,
application list, right?
yeah. Let me, yeah.
So I think guys, I am struggling with my Visual Studio Code. So this happens. I think in the evening I also like sharing and doing code in VS and explaining. So this will be a very tough task for anyone if you don't have any good laptop actually. So actually it is stopped, crashed. My VS Code got crashed. Let me open it again. So a simple application which is using BARD API.
Okay, so you're talking about APIs, right, Ashish? So how
Hmm.
can we, have those APIs, or how can we download those APIs?
No, that is not you need anything to download it. You have to go through the documentation. They have step-by-step instruction how to use their API.
Okay,
You
okay,
have to
okay.
follow those instructions.
Totally. Okay.
Okay. So we are going to jump to the development environment. Okay. So this is something different. So let me my Visual Studio. So whenever I'm not able to, okay, but maybe if happens tomorrow, I will set up this thing and I'll show you. Maybe unfortunately, this is crashing actually. Sorry for that, guys. Sorry for that. But I really love to show you how this is working.
So Ashish, like why? What is the reason why it is crashing? When you test run, it was running perfectly yesterday. Is that correct?
No, that is not specific to my laptop. It's not able to handle this much load. Okay, because VS
Okay, okay.
Code, if you run VS Code, that is too heavy memory it is consuming. Okay, and any ID that you are running,
Okay,
because you are
so what about our laptops then? Because my laptop is like,
no,
it
mine is very simple, guys. It is like the lowest one. I bought it before I started DS journey. Okay, but some emotional attachment with the old stuff, so you can't upgrade. So
So
that's
we are
why.
also using basic laptops only. Ashish.
yeah.
But I think it will be better than mine. I can guarantee that part. But yeah, but
Mine
that's a
was
different
like,
part. I mean,
I think my laptop is 3 or 4 years old and it has that old, I think i6 or 6th gen or 5th gen processor. I didn't even know what is the specification. It's like,
okay, guys, can you see my screen?
yeah, let me check. Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
Great. So let me.
Welcome to Ashish
Okay,
Palay.
just a minute, guys.
Yeah.
DL10 image. Just a minute. Let me touch. Okay. So here. Okay, so this is a small application I developed. I was actually going through this, and actually I'm working on few projects from the client, so that's why I need to learn it. See, this is the app. Okay, I stopped it again. This is the app which is you are going to run a Streamlit. I think Silpa knows this because they have already done the project. if we'll open this in a browser, now the browser is also getting crashed automatically. So this means you are running an application. This is my IDE.
This
Here
link
I
will
wrote
only work with you, or it work with anybody?
no, this is my local host. It is not
Okay.
productionized yet. So
Uh-huh.
productionized means you have to put in a cloud server so that other people also start using
Okay,
it.
okay.
But this is local to me. So uh, it
So
will
Ashish, if I run this URL what you are copied now on my browser, will something happen on the browser? Will it run?
no, you won't be able to access this. It will get some
Yeah,
error.
it'll say like server not found, like that, right?
Server not found, because that is my local address.
Yeah.
But if I'll put all this code that I have written in a cloud server, then I have a IP, then you can hit that IP. So here, if you see, it come automatically, the application. So this is, come on.
And also you always say, right, like I'm having something running in my background, like module was running. So is this because of your computer
No,
got
that I
slowed down
stopped
this much?
these days. That was part of my deep learning model. So those models keep running till nights, like over the nights. So that's why, this deep learning also, that's why is a super cool thing, but we don't have enough resources for that. You need GPUs, you need good laptop and
Okay.
CPUs and all to run this stuff.
Okay.
And
So you're working your projects and everything with this laptop itself?
yeah, so we have cloud servers, right? So
Oh,
the
okay.
thing is, like, why I'm not upgrading, because everything is I'm using inside the cloud, right? Even if
Okay.
the development environment also inside the cloud. So
Okay.
I'm not
And
using my
also,
laptop to
yeah.
do.
Okay.
See guys, here, this is my application.
Okay.
I just created using Streamlit. This is how you are also going to do it. I used Bard's API, Google Bard's API.
So
Here,
Ashish, I will ask a question to your this thing. Deep learning is named after which person?
is that a question to test me? Because I don't know
No,
which
you will
person.
see, like you said, like it's connected to BART, right? So if based on the answer, I'll get to know like how it is working.
Oh, okay. Okay. Deep learning. Yeah, tell me, deep learning
is named after which person?
named after which person? This
Yes,
should give me the answer.
it
Get
should.
answer.
It's running.
Running.
Yeah.
I say it's running because it will
Yeah.
call that API, and now you got the answer. Deep learning is not named after any particular person. The term deep refers to number of hidden layers in a neural network, like that. So you have, this is the answer.
Okay. So the actual
Okay.
answer is Mahinder Deep Singh. That
Which
deep
one?
is like deep learning, whatever you're saying. The answer is Mahinder Deep Singh. He developed the model and he named it after himself.
He has some, it is giving some name actually here. The term deep learning was first introduced to the machine learning community by Rina Dacher in 1986.
Let me ask the another competitor guy. I think the enemy of ChatGPT.
So this is Bard, because I can't use ChatGPT because this is not free actually. But this Bard one is like
Oh,
your
so
own.
GPT's API was paid.
That is paid. Here, this is also paid, but for your laptop, you can use it. Like how you are using Bard here. No, not Bard API. Only Bard, man. Bard. So I will ask the same question to Bard here. What I asked. So Keaton is saying some things and all, right, but here it is different.
Yeah, in GPT also, like I'm getting the same thing. Deep learning is not named after any specific person, like that.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Correct. So that means Bard and ChatGPT, they made any alliance? Deep learning is named after which person? So see, directly I'm searching this in Bard. Okay.
But actually, like when it comes to the processing time, GPT is good at processing the questions and answering as soon as it can, right?
That's why we need to learn, because our job is not to support anyone. Our job is to learn. So learn both the things and refer to both the things when you are referring something. Now see, I
Mhm.
think this is what we are getting, right? Exactly same what I are getting in
Yeah,
Bard,
yeah,
and this is also getting your app. So that means
yeah.
what?
It's
So I have my own app, right?
yeah,
So you can ask any question and get your answer. You
Yeah,
can
actually, but
now
like whatever I said, it's not a lie. It is for sure. It is true.
see, this is what Bard is saying. Okay, see,
Yeah,
and
I
Chat GPT
know.
also.
I know. See, like,
But so
I
your
don't want to let that out. Okay. Anyways, go ahead.
reference. No, no. Please give some reference where it is written that what the name you are taking, that they are the form, because I don't know. Okay, I'm totally depend on this answer. If you are saying that is where you are referring, or any reference URL or anything blog you can share, so
Well,
that we
like
can
I
see
saw this like a couple of years ago on Twitter when like I actually,
Twitter.
by this person only,
Deep learning. What is the question we asked?
Mahinder Deep
deep
Singh.
Deep learning
learning,
is after which person? Then
deep learning named after which person? Good
see
for hint
Google
and
is
find it. Yeah.
so I think the different countries have created their own people, because if you see Mahinder something we're saying, right?
Yeah, Mahinder Deep Singh. Yes.
Geoffrey Hinton. So we are also getting Geoffrey Hinton here in
No
this.
problem, Ashish. I got the answer. See, like we are living these days in the age of censorship. So Google will give you the information what it requires the
So
greater audience to
see,
learn.
that's what the problem is going to be in future. No, that's why these people are worried, because in future you are not sure what is reality, because you'll see a picture also that is edited or that is created. I'm
Mhm.
working on that project also. Create Chat GPT 4 API to generate images, to generate videos. So because my area of expertise is computer vision, and in computer vision you need data, like everywhere you need the data, but in computer
Okay.
vision you need what? Image data. So now this is a challenge actually. In real life, this is a very difficult task to gather images and like annotate that. Suppose I am classifying dog and cat, I have to annotate in a picture, in which picture I'm using as training. This is cat, this is dog. That I need to annotate and feed to the machine. That's why there is a separate role also in here, that is called annotator role. People are getting hired as annotator. Their job is they will take normal images, there is some certain tools, they will annotate that images. This is cat, this is dog, this is table. Okay, like that they will do that. It's a very hectic and manual task that we are doing. Now using these technologies, you can create images and also you can annotate them.
Yeah. In the Adobe, like they have introduced some
So
AIs,
no
like the
company,
artist were, yeah.
no company is willing to pay some additional bucks to the annotator now. They want this API or AI to be implemented in their system, who will generate new images and videos for them.
Okay. And
And
Ashish,
everything.
like you said you're working on projects, right? Like what kind of a projects you'll work? Like what is like
Oh,
what is your, like we will all have some expertise, or will have some interest where we work, right?
definitely. I love to share those things with you. But the thing is, this is not the right time, because
Okay.
that is deep learning. Okay.
Okay. Okay.
And maybe deep learning sounds like very interesting to you, but actually it is very complex things. And
Hmm.
inside the project you are going to do the analysis or the terms that we are learning in machine learning. The metrics will be same,
Okay. So you're a deep learning guy.
right? Yes,
Okay.
I'm a deep my area of expertise are in computer vision. Okay, so I'm working as a freelancer there also in some projects on deep learning, because as I told you, once you finish this course, this is the starting point. Here you have to choose which role you are like, not choose, which you like, what is giving you the satisfaction,
Hmm.
that you need to choose.
Okay.
So
So
Ashish,
even
like,
if we were on the one track also, like we can gain the skills
Change
and
it,
then
yeah,
we
in the
can
future.
change my track.
Change it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you know how to read now, how to adapt
Yeah.
to the learning situation. In future also you can do, you can repeat these steps after 1 2 years if required, right?
Sure. 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 Surely. Yeah.
So that is the one benefit here. That's why you are going through all the DA statistics, everything, coding. deep learning. So in the next coming sessions, you are going to see image processing, natural language processing, natural language, NLP related stuff, everything, but not in detail, but some touch. So that in future, if you require, you can switch to these fields by again spending some learning time.
Okay.
Kiran is, you're saying something. Sorry, we got you.
Not a problem. Ashish. Let's see.
Huh.
For example, there is a tool called PyTorch, right? It was invented by an Indian in US. His name is Samit Chintana. He has written so many books. If I try to what is called type his name, that is also is not coming. So what I clearly understand is like all the information is already censored. Okay. See, I'll tell you what happens. See, like there will be so many reasons, political, financial, and so many other reasons for certain information to appear in a certain way to the public.
Correct. No, totally agree. Totally agree. So maybe what we, that's why I'm saying maybe what we are seeing that is not true in the future also. Like to rely on a video or image is very difficult, whether that is a real image or created by AI.
True.
That's why they are fearing. Why they are fearing? They stopped the research R&D work at Meta and OpenAI. They signed a joint petition, Elon Musk and all everyone, because we are not getting all these things. But these guys are very powerful. They know what is going to happen because they have the access to the whole world data now.
Exactly. They will give they will pass the orders like what information should come out and what not should come out.
Yes. So maybe we are not able to identify what they are thinking, but they have sensed something which is going to start dominating the human race in future. That's why they are fearing
Yeah.
it.
Like
But that
in
is not.
ChatGPT also, like when it was came, like if someone was asked a question and it says like, okay, I'm more brilliant than you, so that I can answer like that. It was given, and then GPT was gone down. Then they have made some changes and then they relaunched it.
So during that time, I think Ashish, people like me should go down when the information is more trustworthy. So you know, right, like whatever the open internet what we are seeing, just 1% of the data available on the download.
Right. Correct. And one more thing, like when I started, ChatGPT recently came. That you guys are lucky now. You have some, like you don't need to spend so much time. You just put in the ChatGPT tool. It is telling you. When I started, like for one project to complete, I was taking 1 month, one topic to be covered, and there is no mentor kind of situation there. You have to learn everything from your own from the videos. No ChatGPT. So take time consuming was too much. Very patientfully you have to sit and read these things. But here in, if you just move back to 1 year, the total scenario was different and now the scenario is totally different. Now everyone wants to use the AI to do the work, because what is taking like 8 days for me to create to analyze a EDA of my project, ChatGPT can do within minutes.
Sure,
Why
sure.
why I have to spend 1 week or 2 week writing code and see the visualization where it is already giving me? So that's a debate is going on. Like, which is this the correct approach to follow? Is it not the correct approach to follow? And we are going to see what is happening. Okay, guys, if
Sure,
we'll
Ashish. Yeah.
discuss, so I thought to show you this. So this is called BARD API implementation. Now you can, by doing this, this is, I didn't do any project. This is just for fun. I did yesterday, just to make it, okay, can I do something like this? Okay, you can also
Ashish.
try. Okay, you can
Sure.
try with this one, and we'll see. Attend that seminar, and what is that? I'm not sure. You get it. What is that? Yeah, let everyone know once you wanted in that. Okay.
Sure, Ashish.
So Ashish,
Thank
I
you.
have a question here. Let's see, like the web page what I'm seeing right now on my screen. So it is calling ChatGPT or BART, which one I don't know where you have connected. So it's calling the information from there, right?
So what is happening? Can you see this screen, my screen here? So what we are doing here in the BARD, what we are doing, we're actually passing one question input. There is a model running behind in the BARD, which is giving me this response. So this means I am requesting, then it is giving me some response. This is how it is working. So using API, in API, if you'll see the code here, I'm using my, this is my account ID, BARD API key ID. Here, if you see, there is a particular Python library. For ChatGPT also you have that. Okay, that is called OpenAI library. This is BARD API, that is OpenAI. So this library is helping us to connect to that API, BARD API, which is fetching the result. How it is getting fetched from here, this Python code is helping to connect with this API or this page where you will ask the questions. That means that is you are requesting something, and in the response it will generate this outcome, and you are capturing that response in the code. If you see here, this is my input, ask me anything, and if in this button I am, after writing I am clicking what, get your answer. In the BARD API, there is a function called get answer. We are calling that get answer, and in the response we are collecting the content. Okay, so this is nothing but what we are seeing in the screen here. Here, this is the content.
Okay, Ashish, in that answer section, say for example, I'm telling you a hypothetical situation. If I change it to World Wide Web instead of BARD, okay.
If you
say, can we go to the code where you have written answer that line? Yeah. Here in answering control, you said like the source you are mentioning it as BARD, correct?
This one, right?
No, here, niche.
Here, this one.
Yeah. So, what I was trying to tell you is like instead of BARD, if you substitute it with www dot, will it fetch the information from the information what is available globally?
No, not that one, not like that.
Or if instead of BARD, if I just say like google.com.
No, not like that, not like that. It is not working in that way. Here BARD means this function. This is a function which is written by what? Google and implemented inside Python library. This is a function written by what? Google, and we are using that function using Python through this BARD. Now, if you see here, I am creating a object from this function, and this get answer is the attribute of that function. It is not like the BARD we are seeing here. Okay.
That's what was my question to you. Now you are coming to my question. Okay.
Okay, so this is not the BARD that we are seeing here. This is a pre-written code or function. Using this code, we are calling its what? Attributes or methods to get the content. Now I think you are clear, right? You got confused about this BARD. Okay.
Right.
Got it. Okay. So we'll see this. You will do this on your own. I know this thing, so don't worry. If we will get the project, then also we'll see. I'll try to help you out, which we can. So in that case, shall we wind up the call, guys? We'll see you on Monday then.
And Ashish, after that 8th and 9th sessions only we'll get to know about the project allotment, correct?
So maybe after this session, this visualization and this plotly, I think you'll get your project. Correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, guys. Okay, we'll see. Okay.